Another one of my favorites is paying your kids. Did you know if you make a $7,000 deposit into your child's IRA, by the time they're 60, they'll have $1 million if you don't do anything else? Just one deposit. So imagine if you start when they're very young and you are making a deposit every year, how much money would they have? I mean, you like to talk about building generational wealth. That's one key right there. And it
Mm,
$7,000, that's almost nothing to think about what it would do for your child's future.
yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well,
uh,
people spend, they'll easily drop that amount on a car,
yeah,
right? And it's crazy. You got millions of people that love their car more than they love their kids.
ooh, I
And
hate.
it says that kids be out here struggling. Kids be 25 years old talking about, I thought, I've been depressed and I thought I don't want to live no more because it's so
Ooh,
hard out here. And it's like, well, if you just put a little money to the side for them, they'd have been okay. They wouldn't have to go to work for, somebody. I mean, I think it's time to have real conversations about that. Like I think sometimes we feel as a people that we are supposed to suffer.
no,
We think that we're supposed to be in the hole, a day late, a dollar short, uninformed, and you don't live in an age where that's doable. I mean, we live in an age of information. Information is readily abundant. It's choices at this point, and that requires some accountability. So, are we going to account for the kids or not? What do you think, Miss Larissa?
I think yes. In 2025, you can pay your child up to $15,000 and they don't have to file a tax return.
Mm,
So, what you should do is take that money if they're really small. Number one, invest in that IRA. But secondly, pay for all their expenses, all their extracurricular activities and things like that that they need, and then show them how to use their money. This is one of the best ways to instruct them on just learning about credit and things like that. It helps them to get a foothold in the world so they'll know, okay, this is what I need to do in
mm.
order to be successful. But if you don't have any training, like my father was an accountant, he didn't tell me anything about what to do with money. He didn't even want to give me any, seems like.
Mm.
But I did get a little allowance, but there were no lessons attached to that. And I think that's the major thing. We have to teach the children. How do they use the money? What do they do with it? It's so important. But
Mm.
using the money to help benefit them, enrolling them in classes where they can learn, or be great to bring them into the Black Business School.
Well, it's funny. You live in Atlanta, right?
I do.
Yeah, I love that. I got an aunt in Atlanta. You remind me of my auntie. I gotta introduce y'all. But just as a side note, but I'm gonna tell you, it's really interesting, and I did see I saw a comment where when I mentioned that thing about investing for the kids and the kids struggling, somebody made a good point. They said, well, maybe the kids are struggling because the parents are still struggling, and I do agree with that. But one of the things I want us to understand is that, um, is that what Larissa is saying is that you can do little things that will make a massive difference. When you look at the power of things like compound interest, which is something everybody should understand, because my grandmother introduced me to that. And you will be amazed what you can do for your kids, even if you ain't got a whole lot of money. You could be making minimum wage. If you can afford to eat fast food, you can afford to invest small amounts of money for your child